On it tonight. Can't say enough about McNeese State and the basketball that they played tonight. They were not afraid. They came in with an excellent game plan, got us back on our heels. Initially, we were very slow with how we were playing. The crowd was amazing tonight. We appreciate our fans, our loyal fans, showing up for these guys. As has been the case here for a long, long time. We gathered a bunch of energy, from them, even though we were not playing our best, and we appreciate that. But tonight was not our night. It certainly was McNeese State's night. Wells was magnificent. Richards made shots and played with moxie. Shoemade, showed why he's a really good player. He can rebound, can score at the rim. He's a tough player, and the other guys did their job as well and really played well together. We made some runs, within the game, but not enough to get over the top. And end of the game, I think we pulled it 72-65, and just did not make the plays we needed to in order to try to get the game a little bit tighter than it was. And when you get down 20 like that, that's tough. It's deflating, not something that you're expecting. And so dealing with that, was not an easy thing for our guys. But they continued to play, they continued to fight, and obviously the energy that the crowd gave us when we were doing some solid things, spurred us along. But again, can't say enough about what McNeese State did tonight.
Ryan, I think almost,
your froggy voice too.
Yeah, almost 70% of your shots tonight were beyond the arc.
Yeah.
Were you pleased with the selection?
Yeah, the first half, I didn't like how we were running our offense to all of a sudden get to some of those shots. But I'll have to go back and look at it, once I see the film and see kind of the selection of the ones. But most of them felt pretty open, in the first half. And there's certain games where they're going to go down. There's certain where they're not. The combination of what I was more concerned with was we weren't able to get inside of their defense in the first half. I mean, you look at the difference in two pointers made, throughout the game, and they dominated that. And that's not something that we could be okay with. We pride ourselves on getting inside of the paint. You saw some of that in the second half. We were able to get in there a little bit more, which makes the threes easier, when you're able to do that. But again, their plan was very good. The switching was excellent, and it froze us a little bit in the first half, which to be honest with you, I was not expecting us to respond, in that way. But we did, and so we've got to get back to work.
So the bigs kind of took a back seat tonight. Zeb Jackson leading in rebounds being the biggest evidence of that. I think we saw some decent stuff from that. Is there any reason why the bigs kind of were more out wide rather than taking advantage of the height that you guys had on some of their bigs like Shoemate?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we've got, Rose, and we've got, Firm, and, this is Firm's first, real minutes, in a game. This is Mike Bell's first real minutes in a game. Like, you go on down the list fast. This is his first real minutes, in games. And so that can be tough. But, we try to get our guys near the rim. We try to, exploit some of those mismatches, because when they're switching like that, you're getting different guys on different guys, right? And we weren't quick enough with the ball when we did get some of those switches to be able to get, quality looks. Offensive rebounding, I thought we had some nice runs in there, from an offensive perspective, but not enough to totally change the game. I thought Firm had a nice game, probably as good as anybody.
Ryan, you alluded to it. You guys cut it to 7 there a couple times there in the second half. What did you see from them in those moments that you weren't able to get all the way back?
Yeah, I mean, we had some bad beats. We get the trap there on the side right in front of the scores table, and he jumps in the air, and I'm not sure he knew where he was throwing the ball, but all of a sudden it goes on the other side of the court. I thought one of our guys was going to run right through it, and we were going to head off to the races, but it didn't happen. We missed it. He gets it, and now all of a sudden the basket's free. And so we had a few of those. That happen that kind of can take the life out of you. Have a couple of those turn the other way, and then all of a sudden there's a little more game pressure, but it didn't happen.
And Coach,
Again, it goes back to they had a bigger lead. They're up 20 in the first half. That's tough.
Hey, Coach, what's going to be the approach for the next couple of days leading to the matchup on Friday?
Yeah, I mean, the approach is obviously we've got to get better, right? And we've got to understand why, we put ourselves in that position. We've got to make sure that our guys understand they're good basketball players. And, I did not help them enough, tonight. I think that's one of the biggest keys. I've got to help them more than I did tonight to make sure that they understand how good they can be and how good they are. And, I think there was probably some nerves out there. We tried to release some of those, before the game. And first games of the season are tough. We've had some weird ones, in my career. And, this one certainly was. But, they have veterans on the other side of the bench, from us. They have some really good players that, been to some excellent schools, and now they've all settled in together, where they're at, and they're good. But for us, we've got to focus on ourselves, while getting ready for our next opponent. And, tomorrow's off. Wednesday we'll be back at it. And, we've got to make sure that these guys understand that, nobody's abandoning you, all right? Right now, we are in this thing together like we always are, win, lose, or draw. And we have a really good group of guys, all right, that are beat up in there in our locker room right now and, feel badly about what happened, but they don't need to be embarrassed about what happened. We don't need them to feel that way. Everybody makes mistakes, and we certainly collectively did not play up to our capability tonight, but it's our job too. It's not going anywhere. We've got to be ready to go.
Is that as efficient an offensive game as you've seen from Max?
Efficient?
Yeah, I mean, look at shooting percentages, assists, turnovers.
He can bang shots, he's a good player. He's a good player. He for sure is. But no, I mean, I don't even, like, for us to lose that way, like, he couldn't care less, about his efficiency. I mean, Max can play better. I can coach better. We all have to do better.
How would you have, you said you should have done a better job of helping them.
Just releasing some of the nerves, just help them offensively, defensively, made better calls, I think when we got down, 20, our guys were shell-shocked, at that point. And, to their credit, they came back.
Yeah, scored last 8 of the
absolutely.
first
Scored the
half.
first possession out of half, right? But then we give up a 3, and a miscommunication. So tough loss, tough loss for us. But, I've been here before as a coach. I'm not worried about it. I got to make sure that, I'm worried about the guys in our locker room, all right, and the coaches and the people that are on our staff, and we've got to get to work and make sure that, not like we haven't been working, we've been working, but we just didn't put our best foot forward tonight.
Ryan, just 5 forced turnovers. What can you guys do to disrupt things a little more?
Surprising, to me. I think that's a credit to them. They have some ball guards out there that can handle the ball that are pretty good. And I would have thought we would have gotten more deflections, with our length, and we didn't. And so I'll have to go back and look and see why, we didn't. I think there was they had too much space to work with. They were getting away from us, and we were always kind of recovering. And the only deflections that we kind of got were at the rim, right? Where all of a sudden they're going to the basket. We need some more out further on the court. But good question.
Coach, you mentioned they're really good guards. Shahada Wells, what made him just so effective against you all tonight?
Yeah, his pace to the game I thought was really good. Shot selection was good. He took care of the ball for him. He's been in big games. The guy scored 17 at Kansas. That's not easy to do. He's a good player, and he was able to get downhill on us, quite a bit. And there were some fouls that happened early, and then all of a sudden we fouled in, as they're shooting the basketball, which you can get going certainly at the free throw line with that. But I just thought overall he just made a lot of really good decisions.
You mentioned Monday that early season, especially openers, you have to adjust on the fly.
Yeah.
even more because you don't know what you're going to get. Did anything they did tonight surprise you that made you kind of adjust on the field?
You know, I think the defense, you know, for sure. I mean, they were really loaded up, even more than I was expecting. But you know, we just didn't provide enough space. We didn't have quick enough decision making going on out there, and that can happen when you're playing against a switching defense. It can lead to holding the ball, but then all of a sudden they're in front of you. And you get back and look at the end of the game. I mean, Max is trying to drive. There's 3 guys, you know, right there. And so we did have some quick kicks, and some of those shots just didn't go down for us. And you know, we've got to get better. We got to work at it more.
Ryan, especially without Sean right now, are you feeling through some different lineup configurations and how different pieces fit together? You went to some smaller ones there in the second half.
Yeah, and we've had some injuries in practice, you know, that, you know, haven't helped us either. You know, guys in and out. You know, Fats missed, you know, probably the total of about 3 weeks. You know, at different times, you know, where he's been out, and he needs that practice time, you know, to be in there to get ready. I mean, he practiced 1 time before the Mars Hill game after being out for a bit, and so that does hurt you. It hurts your cohesion. It hurts their efficiency. But you know, we're not gonna. I mean, I told the team that in there, you know, before, you know, doing the radio. It's like, it's not an excuse because it's the circumstances that we have and that we're dealt with. Yes, we would love to have Sean back. He's not going to be back for a little bit, right? And that's going to help us grow even more right now. And Michael Bell's going to get great minutes. Fats is going to get great minutes. Toby's going to be out there. It's kind of his first time being out there as well. You know, Kwani as well, J. Nell, like all of these guys are going to play, and you know, we need them to play well, and they will. I'm confident that they will.
Do 1 or 2 more.
How much can you attribute this loss to, like, maybe a lack of cohesion and experience as a team?
I mean, it's hard to ignore the fact that we've had massive transition, right? But that's not the reason we lost. I mean, the reason we lost is because McNeese State played really well, all right? And they put us in a tough spot, and you know, got a big lead on us, and then all of a sudden we're chasing the game and playing from behind, and so not ideal. We can't have those types of runs where we get down like that. We've got to be in it, or go on our own runs, you know, to where we're, you know, separating from another team. It didn't happen tonight, and you know, this team, you know, has done everything that we've asked them to do starting from when we first got the team together, and you know, we have to lean on our training and our connectivity, you know, from here. All right, no different than had we won this game by 1 point and snuck it out, right? Wouldn't change, you know, how we played. You know, have we been able to all of a sudden turn that one around and get the W? All right, we have to be better, and we're not where we need to be. It's my job, it's our coaching staff's job to help these guys get there.
Anything else, guys?
All right, guys.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Coach.